we want to take our audience on an emotional journey. And that emotional journey is what will keep them engaged. As somebody who works in the world of speaking and thought leadership, I often get asked about the speaker's reel. It's one of those things that speakers need to have. It's essential. But so few speakers really understand what that reel is and what it should be for. Now, my background is advertising, and I spent the early part of my career in direct marketing. And we used to do something called DRTV, which was direct response TV. It was direct sales on TV. And so that was, anything that ended in a 1-800 number or, act now kind of a call to action. But you need to think about your speaker's reel as DRTV. That is in fact what it is. And when we're thinking about that type of medium, there are some rules that you should be following. So the first thing is, how long should it be? And I see speakers' reels that are 5-6 minutes in duration. No one is watching 5 minutes of you talk. I'd hate to burst your bubble, but the reality is when somebody is looking at a speaker's reel, they're just really trying to get a sense of who you are. So we need to keep it short. It needs to be short, it needs to be punchy, it needs to give them an emotional connection. So 90 seconds to 2 minutes, the longest it should absolutely be. And in those 90 seconds, you gotta pack a lot of information in there. So you've got to be really strategic on how you're building that reel. Now, when I'm working with a speaker to build their speaker's reel, the first thing we do is we look at what is their signature talk, because that's going to be the guidance. It's the narrative arc that we're going to have throughout that reel. We're trying to show that viewer in that 90 seconds, what is it you speak about and how passionate are you? So we're creating a storyboard, and that's where we start. We build out a storyboard looking at what are the moments that we want to make sure are addressed in your speaker's reel that will give the viewer a sense of your signature talk, of who you are, the passion you bring, of your engagement with the audience, of how you are in fact storytelling and emotionally engaging that audience. Then we're going to look at that storyboard and say, what is the emotional arc we're taking the audience through? We're starting from a sense of awe. We're moving into some poignancy, then going into deep connection, and then back into a place of excitement. We want to take our audience on an emotional journey, and that emotional journey is what will keep them engaged. When they're seeing this and realizing they're on that journey, they'll keep watching. The next thing you want is differentiation between all the different pieces of that reel. Do you have video of yourself on multiple stages? Great. Now, let's build that storyboard and look for scenes in all of those different speaking engagements. If you don't, can you create some new ones? Can you get some video footage, even if it's not very good? We're not necessarily looking for high quality video, although it does help, don't get me wrong. But we'll even use low quality video because we can do some video effects on it and have different voiceovers on top of it. But what we're looking for is you in different formats. What stages have you been on? Small, intimate stages, large auditoriums, even virtual stages. So we're showing you in different environments. What we're also looking for is the ways in which you're engaging with that audience. What's the audience doing? Do you have audience shots? And if you don't, can we get some B-roll of audience shots of them reacting to you? Sometimes we'll cheat that a little bit and use some B-roll that is more stock footage, because what we want is for the viewer to see the audience and to feel the energy in the room. What we're looking for is ways in which you're connecting outside of being on stage. So maybe there are still images that we can do a really cool technique with to keep the energy of the video going. Because ultimately what we're doing in that 90 seconds is we're building a story. It's the story of you as a speaker, as a thought leader, as an impact maker. We want to show you in all the different facets that a host of an event might want you. So maybe we even have some video of you facilitating workshops, because perhaps that's something you do. All of that, you can see there's a lot of work there. There's a lot of decisions that are being made. And next, what we're looking at is what is the underlying tone? That's the music. Music is so important. It sets a tone. Are we having something big and cinematic, fun and jaunty, or something a little more jazzy and intimate? These give your video a different feel. It gives you a different feel, and it keeps the viewer involved in a different way. So these are all aspects of what come together to build a speaker's reel. There's you as the speaker and the footage you have. There's the still images that you might have from other events. There's music that's keeping the whole thing together. There's a story arc that's running through the whole thing. You've got to think about having your captions on screen, which is really important. You know, again, back in my days of DRTV, one of the things we used to talk a lot about was see what you say and say what you see. And that was really important because we need the audience to be seeing what we want to be said. So that voiceover is really important. What is the script that is being said all the way through? And are you saying it? Is it your voice saying that script? Or do we have a narrator and now we're coming in and out of you on stage, picking up pieces of that script? These are all decisions that you're going to make. The opening screen and the closing screen are incredibly important. The opening screen is you, your branding. It sets up the importance of who you are. The closing screen is your call to action. It's where you get people to do something. Do you have a QR code on there that they can just scan? Is there an offer? Do you have a phone number? What is it you want them to do at the end of that video so that they can hire you for your professional stage? Sizzle reels are your promotional ad for you. So it needs to be representative of you. It needs to have longevity so that you don't have to do this again and again. And it needs to have engagement with that audience so they will get to the end screen. You might have calls to action on screen throughout the entire thing, but you at least have to have it at the end screen. So these are some considerations as you step into being a professional speaker, getting onto that paid circuit, getting in front of audiences who care about what you're talking about, and being hired by hosts who want to pay you the value that you bring to those audiences. I hope this has been helpful. If you want more information, make sure to check out our resources below. There are so many different resources we have on helping you to become the paid speaker that you want to be.